Hi there, my name is Lucy Vigil, and today I will be talking about nonprofits and how they give gifts in order to further their organization, especially through a fundraising or development perspective, and why they give gifts, when they give gifts, what type of gifts they give, everything in between. We will start out today by talking about my goal for my learning about this, why I chose this topic, what I wanted to learn about it, and why I thought it mattered. We'll also talk about the ways that I went about learning about it. So, really, my research methods and the things I did to further my knowledge about this topic. And then in the bulk of our conversation, we'll start off by talking about why we are giving gifts in the first place. It's really important to understand this before we talk about the nuances of gift giving, because if we don't know why we're doing it, then we shouldn't be doing it at all. And eventually, we'll talk about giving the right gift and the nuances and context that kind of go into understanding what type or size gift you should be giving in different situations, and also when not to give a gift, because nonprofits aren't giving gifts every single day, so we need to know when not to give them as much as we need to know when to give them. And we'll wrap things up with a sort of summary of what I've learned this semester. So, my learning goal for the semester was to understand the nuances of showing appreciation through gift giving from a development perspective in nonprofits. I chose this topic because in my current internship in the development department at a nonprofit, I was really having a hard time understanding why we were giving so many gifts, especially in a nonprofit where our income is limited, and what it was doing for the organization, why it was helping. And I was also having a really hard time whenever I was asked to go buy a gift, deciding what type of gift or size gift to get. I really had no idea what was appropriate for the various situations. And especially because I'm considering a future career in nonprofit development, I thought this would be a really great way for me to kind of learn more. I love giving gifts and just really thought it would be good to have more concrete knowledge behind the things that I was kind of guessing at. So the way I went about learning about this topic was through two different methods. I first of all did on-site research. So, like I said, I am currently working in the development department at a nonprofit, and so each time a gift was given, I would take note of a number of different things, including who was receiving the gift, what the occasion was, a description of the gift, pretty detailed, including where it was bought from and how much it is valued for, and any other details I thought was important. And through noting these things, I really was able to see a pattern in some of the different situations that meant getting certain types of gifts and things like that. So I also wanted to do some independent research to kind of clarify everything that I had learned. And since I didn't really think what I had seen was enough to stand on its own. So I read some scholarly articles on topics such as donor appreciation and retention, and client gifts, especially in clients dealing with grief or loss, which is something my nonprofit sees a lot, as well as some general like donor relationship topics and articles. So kind of the culmination of all of this research was that I really wanted to be able to make a flow chart that I could sit down and look at with any situation and walk through the various questions that broke down the context of it and just really easily see what type of gift I should be getting and what size gift I should be giving. So this is kind of the culmination of my research. We'll come back to this in a lot more depth later, but just kind of wanted to show this as like a guiding factor for what I did this semester. So, like I said, I think it's really important that we talk about why we are giving gifts in the first place. It's well known nonprofits need money, and this money typically comes from donors who are giving to the organization. So, what makes someone decide that an organization is worthy of a donation? It's a few different things. So, first of all, they really want to feel an emotional connection with an organization. They want to feel an organization is doing really great work, making a big impact, in that by giving to this organization, they are having a part in that impact. They also want to trust the organization that they will use their money wisely. If an organization is doing the best work but is kind of squandering their money, then donors don't want to give up their money just for it to be wasted. So these are really the two things that people look for before making a donation. And in the nonprofit world, when they're looking at predicting where they will get donations for a year, the most likely predictor of where they'll get a donation is someone who's donated in the past. So things like donor retention are so important in nonprofits, and it's something that is talked about a lot, um, especially because if you have you have limited time and resources to put into getting donations. If you put it into maintaining relationships versus building brand new ones, the outcomes are more likely to be advantageous in the nonprofit's favor. So, donor retention is huge, and ways that they do this are really through personal relationships. Um, the people who donate and feel special and appreciated and a part of the organization are more likely to donate again. So it's really, really key for nonprofits to build personal relationships through things like gift giving and contact throughout the year, communication. And so we can see that the number of contacts per year that's necessary for a nonprofit to build a relationship with a client is 10 to 12. That's a lot. That's almost one a month. When you're looking at maintaining a relationship, the number drops to 6 to 8. So a lesser number, still quite a bit, but a lot of contact is necessary in order to make people feel appreciated and continually appreciated. So to clarify, contacts mean anything from in-person meetings to receiving a card or letter or note in the mail to being invited to an event or for a tour in the office or things like phone calls. Basically, any point of contact that does not involve asking for money helps to build a personal relationship. And these personal relationships, especially these tiny communications, really help to build the trust and the emotional connection that these donors want to feel in giving to an organization. And especially in moments that are significant in a client's life, they want to hear from people. If they are finishing up their graduate studies and they don't hear congratulations from someone, they might feel a little slighted for not hearing from them. Some negative feelings might come up. Versus if they do hear from someone, even if they weren't expecting to hear from them, they'll feel these positive feelings. So by having these points of contact at significant moments in clients' lives, you're not only causing positive feelings in regards to your organization, but you're preventing negative feelings. So now that we have a better understanding of why we're giving gifts in the first place, we can kind of look at choosing the right gift based on the occasion or situation. So based on my research and the things I noted at work, I came up with 4 different levels or sizes of gifts. So in some situations, no gift is necessary. In others, a signed card by the staff is plenty. That can be birthdays, graduations, things like that. And in other instances, giving a small gift, a personalized gift, can be really great. So that can be things like a candle or a journal or a scarf. Smaller things, but have a personalized touch depending on the person. And then the final step or level of gift is a nice basket or baked good. These can really mean a lot and to people, especially in harder times. So if we want to kind of track down the different factors that affect the choices, we can see when some of these levels are more appropriate than others. So the first question right here says, is this a happy or sad occasion? So this matters for a few different reasons. You wouldn't really want to give someone a gift that you would typically give them for their birthday if their parent passed away and things like that. So I separated it into happy and sad, and under happy I also have thank yous under there, just because thank yous, you're thankful, that feels happy, so I thought that went on that side. So then we come down to, we'll start with happy. Are we celebrating something? This was really just here to kind of separate between thank yous or not thank yous. So like birthdays, graduations would go here versus we're thankful that someone came and cleaned the office, or we're thankful that they helped us address a bunch of envelopes, comes down here, as well as donations comes down here. So, and in celebrating something or in more sad situations such as illness or death, we come over here to, does this situation directly and significantly affect a client or other member of the community? So this is the second factor that's listed on the left, where it says how much it affects the client. If a situation doesn't directly affect anyone in your community, it can be sad, it can be happy, but there's really no reason to be giving a gift. If it's a big deal, if someone's parent dies or if a client dies, that's when you want to send a nice basket or baked good, especially in sadder times. Baskets of comfort food and baked goods are really great for them to be there to offer them comfort, and also to have something to put out to people that are coming to visit them and offer them comfort without them having to do any work. But if it's not as big a deal, let's say their great uncle is sick and it's not someone they're super close with, it affects them a little, or if it's maybe a birthday would fall on this one, a birthday for a client that you're not super close to will come down here. Then you would send a signed card by the staff. It's still a very nice gesture, very, very sweet, but doesn't require the monetary investment that nonprofits make when they are sending a nice basket or baked good. So now that we kind of talked about the different instances to give a gift, we talk about when not to give a gift. So this was one of the options on the flow chart when a situation doesn't directly or significantly affect a client. So basically, when giving a gift will not further a relationship with a client, will not increase their emotional connection or trust in the relationship, and therefore won't help a nonprofit to increase donations, then it's probably not worth the time or money or resources put into giving a gift. And that falls into the when an occasion doesn't significantly or directly affect a client. If it doesn't significantly or directly affect them, probably not furthering your relationship. In instances like these, it can even be detrimental to give gifts. If a client isn't significantly affected by a situation and you are giving them the biggest basket and so sorry that your great aunt died, and the client's like, I barely knew her, it can even be kind of awkward. Or they can feel like, you know what, I just donated a bunch of money to you and now you're using money to give me gifts that I don't really need. So they can there maybe see that you're wasting things in their money. Another interesting situation is you want to make sure not to give gifts when it will counteract the altruistic feelings that donors get from giving gifts, from giving money to an organization. So, for example, there's a study that shows that when nonprofits say, donate $50 and I'll give you a mug, donors are less likely to donate, because when they donate, they want to feel like they are doing something good and selfless. But when they are being offered something in return, that selfless feeling, that altruistic feeling goes away, and they are less likely to donate. So a way to avoid this is you can still give them a mug, but don't tell them up front. You just give it to them, and then at that point, it's like a surprise. They feel appreciated, they feel special, but they still got that altruistic feeling from being able to give without expecting anything in return. So to summarize what I've learned, we started off talking about why we give gifts in the first place in nonprofits. And this was really important for me just because I was really doubting why nonprofits give so many gifts and why people feel the need to receive gifts from nonprofits and things like that. But I now just feel like I have such a better understanding, and I really understand how it furthers the personal relationships. I also really learned a lot of new options for gifts from taking note of so many of the things that are given in my internship, and can use those for future career ideas. Most of all, I really feel confident in choosing the levels and sizes and types of gifts to give in different situations. This was really hard for me in the beginning of the year when my supervisor would ask me to go somewhere to buy a gift. I would be standing there for long periods of time just going back and forth between the different options and sending her pictures and asking her opinion. And now I just really feel like I have so much more confidence in choosing gifts for any situation, especially with the flowchart to help me, but even without the flowchart. And this not only helps me in my current internship, but also will help me so much in my future career. So I'm really thankful for everything I've learned so far. I think that giving gifts is so much fun, and I just feel so much more confident in it than I did before this project. Thank you so much for listening.